never before. Let's never be twice.
Let's go back in and wrap up this powerful conversation with Daytime's diva, Wendy Willliams.
It had to take faith to sit back, because you had the biggest radio show in the world. And I remember when you were leaving, I was like, are you kidding me? She's like, leaving for real? To do what? How much faith and where did you pull from to do what you're doing?
My underlying belief in myself, and that, you know, I will be taken care of, because, you know, I believe in God, and I believe that I'll be okay, and I am fearless.
It's kind of like you were going to work, now you go to life.
Yes. And I love having a life. I could not stay here and be worker bee all day, and that's one of the blessings of getting with, you know, a man who found a great woman, but figured out how he can help her to be even greater while still fulfilling his own happiness, because you can't give up your own happiness, you know, for somebody else, you know. And to me, marriage is about teamwork. So we work together as a team. I know it doesn't work for a lot of people, you know, and sometimes it does get a little tense, but it's nothing that we can't handle. We've been doing this since the beginning when we first met, and I need a life. So when I leave the studio, he's still here, and staff has my phone number, and I trust them implicitly, and I'm not a micromanager, and I don't need to be pacing the halls all day trying to figure out what's going on. Just because I'm here doesn't mean I'm not working. It's just that I'm doing it on my own terms.
When you're birthed into this world, you don't get the opportunity to choose your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your uncle.
Right.
None of that. Right. But there's two things that you get to choose. You get to choose your faith and who you marry. And those two things will change your world forever.
Yes. Sometimes you marry a rotten apple. I was married for 5 months at one point in my life, and I chose, and we had a big giant wedding. This is back when I was in my late 20s, and I thought that I had it all. I got married at 28 years old. I think marriage is best served when you're in your 30s. I think especially for women, I think, this is just my opinion. It is hard enough for us to get out here and make our bones in our careers. Two things that sometimes hold us back: love and kids. And I'm not saying love like boyfriend and girlfriend, although sometimes that gets heavy too, but they sometimes hold us back, because as women, we're making 25% less of what men make in the workforce, you know, but we are expected to do 125% more. So once we finally get married, we're expected to do it all. And we give up a lot more than men do when they get married. And you can take it from me, Exhibit A. Now, I freely give it up now in a happy marriage, because, you know, I've, you know, clubbed and, you know, I've lived, honey. So, you know, I was ready to let that life go.
Right.
But I got the stories to tell on the rocking chair with the sweet tea when I'm 80.
Right.
But I'm moguling all day, you know, here at this studio.
Yeah.
You know, I've got an accessories line now on QVC. You know, I'm developing a shoe line. My husband and I have just started a production company. I'm a mogul by day, but guess who does the grocery shopping? Me.
Wow.
Only because it's therapy. Guess who goes to Home Depot to buy big enough screws to fix the cabinet? Me. He would do it, but I like doing that stuff. Sometimes we complain, but that's because we put it on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I love being a businesswoman and a housewife. I love being able to attempt to do it all. Sometimes not very well. The cabinet might be a little crooked, but I put it on myself.
There's so many people today that are married. They work together, but they're going through to go to. In closing today, I want you to talk to that person that's married, that's going through, and they're on that last limb, and they're saying, I'm ready to say quits. Talk to them right now.
Well, first of all, divorce is here for a reason. And I'm going to say that because I'm not one of those people who believes staying for the purpose of kids or staying for the purpose of nobody in your family's divorced. I think that is absolutely insane. But what I will say is, marriage, particularly with our people, is so sacred, because many of us, not judging, have babies' mothers or babies' fathers or live together. And you can live in love, and that's fine. But marriage is so sacred that I would say fight. Fight until you can't fight anymore. But don't fight yourself into wrinkles and ugly, and don't fight into your kids seeing a change in mommy or a change in daddy, unless that change is for the better. But fight. And if it's not worth the fight, divorce.
Wow.
Is that the Christian thing to say?
That's what came out of your heart.
It's the Wendy thing to say.
You know who you remind me of right now?
Who?
We just interviewed First Lady Michelle Obama.
Really?
And she says, I might be the First Lady. She says, but I'm a mother first, I'm a wife first.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying right now.
That's what I'm trying to say is that, bringing it back home to what we're talking about marriage, fight, fight, fight. But know what you're fighting for, because sometimes the fight is not worth the fight. And you just have to put on your big girl panties or your big boy jock strap and just get to stepping.
Come on, give me some.
My brother.
My sister. I'll say this in closing. Thank you, first of all.
Thank you.
And Jesus, he is the truth, he is the way, and he is the life. Whatever you fight for your faith, fight for what you believe in. And I tell you, I believe so much in that cross. Right now, you can log on to BET.com/Lift Every Voice. Go ahead and post your comments about today's show. Until next week, this has been Lift Every Voice.
Amen. You doing?
What up, everybody? It's Torrance with this week's church announcements, and we're going to shake things up a little bit today. First off, let's talk about Fred Hammond's new CD that's coming out, God, Love, and Romance. Yeah, like Fred Hammond's kind of going to do a little something different on us and not necessarily just give us a gospel project, but it's going to be his take on those three things, God, love, and romance. You know, I'm a little nervous about it, but he's one of my favorite artists, so I think he'll do a good job with it. I'll make sure to check it out. Yeah, we gotta switch gears a little bit to kind of talk about some drama, but we know if they're talking about our drama, we gotta deal with it first. Paula White was recently named the new pastor of New Destiny Christian Center in Orlando, Florida. Now, the former pastor of New Destiny Christian Center was the late Zachary Timms, who was found dead here in a New York hotel room last year. Now, there was some controversy around who the pastor would be because although she was the interim pastor, apparently some members of the church didn't feel the idea of her, kind of taking over for good. They actually wanted Reva Timms, his ex-wife, who helped found the church, to take over. So then she even threatened to sue, but later pulled that back. So there's just been a whole lot of infighting going on amongst folk, and we really just want to pray for all of them. The Timms family, the people at New Destiny Christian Center. Let's just all get it together, can we? Well, that's it for this week's church announcements, and because I'm a church boy, you already know what to do. Govern yourselves accordingly.
Wendy Willliams may be a powerful woman in all media, but she is extremely humbled by her success. Right now, my friend, you can log on to BET.com/Lift Every Voice and tell us what you thought about today's show. Until next time, this has been Lift Every Voice.
Lift every voice.